Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me once again in this beautiful new year 2023. I hope 2022 treated you well, you had beautiful memories with your loved ones and are excited to embark into a new year. I'm so sorry I've been a little MIA. I had been revamping my office, so we had to kind of set things up in a different, whatever. But nonetheless, we are here. I'm ready. New year, let's do this. Let's keep the ball rolling, right? So as we start this new year, I wanted to recap on a few things that I learned last year, and hopefully they could be useful to you. I truly experienced these things as I went through the year. So I hope that it's valuable and it's something you guys could think, in your forefront of your mind as you guys are moving along, because it's very important, right? To just always reflect on your past experiences so then you can try not to make the same mistake. If not, then just try to, not make the mistake, so many times, right? So nevertheless, let's get right to it. So sometimes you have to stretch your lifestyle, right, to experience your future self. So what do I mean by that, right? So when I bought my first property back in, my second property back in 2020 with my husband, and we bought the home and the budget matched. It was great. It wasn't like we were trying to stretch us out in any way. We weren't house poor, none of that, right? So we could basically afford our mortgage and still afford our lifestyle. Great. Moving forward, I wanted to get into a bigger home. I wanted to, expand our family and, have friends and family over that and feel comfortable, right? Because not that our previous home wasn't big enough, it was fine. I just wanted a place where we could kind of build and then, won't have to move for a little bit, right? So that was the objective. And, initially I looked at the budget for the new home and I was like, there's no way, or what about our lifestyle? How would that be affected? Everything like that, right? So, I wanted to practice how would it be if we were to do a mortgage like that, or get that car that you wanted and you wanted to see if you can, how would it feel to afford it? So, you could do little practice runs, right? If you wanted to just kind of, save that, like pretend, let's say for example, your mortgage right now is $2,400 and you wanted to see what it would look like or feel like to pay a mortgage for $3,500, right? So before you pull the trigger, how about you save that extra, $1,000, $1,100 into your bank account? So when you get paid on the 1st, right, or the 15th, or however you split your bills, you just take out that chunk of what it would add it up to $1,100 a month and put it aside and see how it feels, right? See if it changed your dynamic in your household or your day-to-day tasks, right? So start in small increments, because you'll be surprised how much you can afford and what things you truly can cut off that would open up your budget. So that was one of the things I kind of practiced with, and we then end up buying our future property. And in the beginning I was like, oh my god, like this is so exciting, but this is so nerve-wracking. And then I realized, like, you stretch yourself a little bit, right? Don't go crazy buying all these things, but you stretch your lifestyle a little bit to get to your future self, right? Because if you don't take that step, when are you going to live in your future self, right? We plan it. We use all these planners. We go to these vision board parties, all these fun things, but we have to make sure we implement these things so we can start becoming that future self. So, just a tip for you guys to practice, even if you wanted to, get another car or, even save, right? Like save, invest, take that travel, that trip, anything that's going to get you closer to your future self, but it's a different type of money that it's just going to require, right? Or a little bit more money than what you're doing right now. Just food for thought. The secondary thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was having an accountability partner, friend, coach, spouse, you name it, whatever suits your boat. I would highly encourage you guys to, ask a friend, hey, like, are we in the same industry? Do you mind, like, if I call you once a week, or if you call me, a few times a week, and, let's script practice, or, ask me how I'm doing my business, right? Or let me tell you my dreams and aspirations, and then just ask me every month how, am I does my action meet my future self, right? Back to that, right? Like, we have to make sure that we're doing the activities that's going to account for our future self and who we want to be at the end of the day. I didn't have a coach when I first started real estate or in any other field, because you can have a coach for anything: spirituality, life coach, fitness coach, right? Like all these things, and we only just think about fitness coach. Like we're more than just fitness. We're more than just food. We're more than just career. Like, that's something I really realized, coming into this year. We're more than that. So we're more than just one thing or two things, right? So just 2022, I went to a seminar, and this coach was talking, and I said, I want her to be my coach. I needed her structure, I needed her push, I needed her accountability, and I said, I think I want you to be my coach. And she was like, well, we'll do a consultation or whatever. And we did, and we ended up matching. And we've been together ever since. So we're about to make a year come February, and it truly has built my business, right? Last year I did 6 million. No, sorry, 2021, because we just moved into the year. I did about 6.5 million in volume, and then this year, 2022, I closed at like about 9.4, 9.5, right? So it's small increments that leads you to the bigger goal, right? I'm not gonna evolve and be like, 50 million from 6, like that's just kind of crazy. And like, if I had a team or some things like that, if the dynamic was different, things will look different. But I'm just a singular agent, and things grow periodically, right? And change looks different. Change don't look drastic. Change is 1%, getting 1% better every day, right? I believe that's about 64% a year. So just think about that. Ask a friend, ask your spouse. There's many a times where when I started, getting into real estate and wanted to, get my license and everything. And my husband, he was my accountability partner. I didn't have no money. He just hold me accountable. Did you study today? Did you take the test? Like, did you schedule that? Like, what did you do today to get you to getting your license, right? And, we laugh about it now and we really think about it, but I'm super grateful because he was there every time I took my test, every time I failed, like every time that I'm having a hard time, this man was there holding me accountable. So technically, if you think about it, you have had people in your life that has held you accountable. Just maybe they haven't stated who they, this is what I'm doing, but because they love you and they respect you and they want to see that for you, they have played into that role. So just keep that in mind. If a coach or the price of a coach is not feasible to you, start at the lower level. But I really truly believe, like, even if you write it yourself, right, and just every single day write to yourself who you want to be or what you're striving to be, and then you're reminding yourself every single day, or you're checking it on a planner. Hey, I've spoken to this amount of people this day, I made this appointment. Like, you have to be your accountability partner, because other than that, if we can't measure what we have done or what we're doing, where are we gonna, how do we measure like we're in the direction of reaching our goal? I think that's the ultimate like realization, is that like, we hold other people accountable. Hey, I need you to be here on time, I need you to do these things, but like, okay, then what are we doing every single day to get to what we need to get to, right? So don't want to beat a dead horse. I just think that that's just very important. The third thing I want to talk about is the marathon is not over until it's over. Whew, guys, I just did a marathon December 11th in Hawaii. OMG, that marathon, I loved it, I hated it, I despised it, I cherished it. It was a long run, it was a long walk. It was such a time to reflect. I barely spoke to anybody. I didn't speak to anybody on the phone. I barely text anybody, and it was just time, because it was just time with myself, right? Because a marathon could be life. A marathon could be a goal. A marathon could be, anything you can put equivalent to, right? And there's times where you want to just quit. There's times where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. There's times where you just doubt yourself. Guys, that's okay. That's okay. Feel it through. Feel it. If you need to take a knee, take a knee. If you need to drink your water, drink your water. If you need to grab snacks from, trust me, in the marathon, I did all of those things. I stretched. I paused. I ate snacks at neighbors because we were in Hawaii and it was such an ohana over there, that they would give us snacks just to give us sugar, just to keep on going. Water, Gatorade, anything. Like, I listened to motivational speeches over and over again because at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't going to quit. I just needed to learn how to manage through this pain because my hips was in pain, my knees were on fire, and I needed to lock in and see, okay, I understand I'm feeling all these things, but what can I do right now to get me to the next mile and get me to the next mile? Like, that's what it was about. So I feel like, back 2022 with my coach, there was so many times where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is like not working. Like, I'm trying and it's not working. Oh my goodness. But at the end of the day, you don't quit and you just give it your entirety. You give it your all, right? December 31st, if you time it, you measure your time or your year by, all the way throughout the year, or from your birthday to your birthday, like whatever that is, whatever that date is, don't stop until you get to that date. Don't stop until you get to those 12 weeks and you're measuring yourself. Don't stop until you get to your 6 months and you're measuring your business. Like, don't stop. You could take a slower pace. You can, like I said, take a nap, whatever you have to do, but please don't stop, because at the end of the day, like, you will prove to yourself and you realize so many things about yourself that you don't feel like you're a quitter. You just knew that you had to take a pause because you're human and that's okay. So just wanted to give you that. That was such a beautiful experience. Definitely need to train though. Without having a proper plan, schedule, it can be very easy for you to chase your tail, because you have an idea and we're stimulated by so many things all the time, right? There's just no way around it. So we have these ideas, but when we don't have a plan behind it, we don't have a standard operation behind it, we don't have the steps to lead you to this place. I encourage you guys, I'm doing it myself, working on, hey, what does it take to, when I have this client, this is the things I'm gonna do. When I have this listing, this is the things I wanna do. Like, these are the step-by-step programs. So like, in the event that I will ever have to sell my business, or I will ever have to like coach anybody and take my place, or whatever it is, have a household, run, and if you, God forbid, get sick, your husband or wife need to step in, right? So what is it that you do so you can make sure that you can pass the baton properly to the next party? It's my thought process. And then you can also see and be aware of your gaps. There's gaps in every part of process, and there's always room for improvement. So this is your opportunity to recap and see how you operate and see, okay, well, I think I need to do better here. Oh, I need to not do that because I'm losing a lot of money or time, or like, having these many employees don't make any sense, right? So once you're in the nitty gritty, once you're in the marathon, sometimes you cannot see through, but once you kind of go bird's eye view, you kind of get a way better like understanding and view of your life. So I definitely encourage you guys to consider that. The next thing is, don't be afraid to be the weird one, your singular person believing in your goal. It's okay. Not everybody has to believe in what you believe in. Not everybody has to see it through. It's your job to visualize, to manifest, however way you do you, to really stick to your goal. At the end of the day, no one's gonna want it more than you, right? You're the CEO of your life, right? Not anybody else's life. No one's the CEO of your life. You're the CEO of your life, like, period. So just be accountable for that. Excuse me. And don't be afraid to be weird. Don't be afraid to really believe in this thing that don't make no sense to anybody else. But it's okay, because how many things have been weird to other people and they've been, revolutionary. They have changed the game. So just be okay with being by yourself sometimes, or just be okay with, believing in your dream by yourself for a little bit. Like, it's fine. Once you settle into yourself, into your dreams, into your goals, you're gonna attract the people that are also gonna believe in that, right? Or are interested in that, right? Sometimes we're just not around the right environment to flourish, period. So just be patient with that, right? Just be patient with that. Okay, the next thing is, I learned this one the hard way many times. I'm still not perfect, but we're getting there. It's about thinking about your boundaries with life, with relationships, with career, with friends, with personal time, whatever it is. I truly have been trying to learn and really implement this system. As a realtor, as an entrepreneur, your time is your time, right? So you truly can work 7 days a week and, it just runs like it's nonstop because you don't have to clock in, you don't have to clock out, but you're literally, because you don't have to, like professionally or literally go to a place and clock in, clock out does not mean that you're not clocking in, clocking out. I used to work, literally through the night, and my husband would be like, hey, like we're watching a movie, or I'm at dinner, or I'm with friends, or I don't have time to be with friends, or, I don't have time to watch a movie without being on my phone. So I created a sphere, a boundary around, a bubble around, hey, this is my time, this is my personal time, I'm eating dinner with my family, or it's 7 o'clock at night, like, or it's 9 o'clock at night, I'm winding down, I don't want to be on my phone, I want to clock out, I want to read, I want to spend time with my family, or I'm with friends, I need to make time for my social life. Like, all these things need to be addressed, spoken about, written down, and make it a point, right? Because if not, even if it's not career that's taking over your life, it could be, friendship. Sometimes I used to have friends and I used to have, relationship where it's like, I was on the phone all the time, or I was with them all the time, and just like, okay, well, I don't have any time for anything else. Or, sometimes relationships do that to you, or, family members, like, just think about your sphere and your life and kind of really think about like, hey, where can I kind of create a better, there's never a true balance, but a better, like, balance in a little bit of all that I do. So I'm not letting one thing completely drop, and I'm giving it like I'm watering all my pieces, periodically, just like I do my plants every week. You're doing the same thing for your life. So another great thing is, is the beginning of the year, everyone uses this time to reinvent themselves and do the planners and do all these great things, which is fun and exciting. But they forget about that 3 months from now. Or, like I said, you get tired, you got to take a knee in 6 months because you're exhausted, you've been running. Guys, it's okay to reinvent yourself. Just because, let's say 90 days from now, the goal that you set is not feasible anymore, or you change and you don't want it anymore, it's okay to be like, you know what? I don't want that anymore. Let me redo it. Let me reset my goals, my standards, my boundaries. Like, like take a different route. Take it. Like, you have literally 365 days. If you want to make a change, make a change. Like, don't feel like you're stuck with a goal or whatever for the full 365 days until the next year comes and they be like, oh, okay, I get to do this now again. Like, this is my opportunity. I get one day of the year. Like, I get a few weeks of the year. Like, no. Reinvent yourself every few weeks, every month, like whatever it takes. Like, we're humans and we're also changing. Our cells are changing and dying all the time. So why can't our dreams and goals like change and alter and be, try to be flexible with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, guys. It's 2023. Come on. We learned our lesson. And then also I wanted, second to last is prepare yourself for any opportunity in the market. This past year has been, just life-changing, right? We came off of COVID. The market was insane and the market completely shifted and everybody was like just panicking and like, oh my God, like what are we supposed to do? And interest rates and all these things, right? Once society starts panicking, right? They be like, okay, you guys are panicking, you guys are running away in the other direction. I'm leaning in. And when people are leaning in, they're like, okay, well, I need to backtrack and I need to see it from bird's eye view and see what's going on. So just understand there's always, and we don't say that just to be like, whatever, there is truly an opportunity in every market, and that's just so important. So, going back to like the first few things, save your money, guys. Invest your money, save it. Because when you find that opportunity, I don't want you to be like, dang, I should have saved that. I should have been saving this whole time, because this opportunity is a great one. Start saving now, because whenever the opportunity comes, you can feel like I can take that step. I can take that leap. That's one thing that we have like encountered in the past few weeks, and we're stoked about it. We're in the beginning stages, but we're like, wow, okay, we've been saving until we get the opportunity, right? So we always watching, and some things don't work out, they don't work out. Some things are not meant for you, they're not meant for you. But just try to apply those tasks, so when that thing comes up, like the market interest rates gets better, all these things that you think whatever, you have the opportunity to invest. And lastly, guys, the power of real estate. Invest in the neighborhoods or you predict is going to climb. Like, I can't harp this enough. The market and neighborhoods are changing, right? People are no longer wanting to be in the city, and if they are in the city, sometimes it's just way too expensive. They prefer to do a commute rather than just staying in the city and paying outrageous amounts of money, right? So especially for me here in the Central Texas area, our major cities is Austin, Waco, Dallas, that's the major cities. But I live in Temple, so when we first got here, we wanted to be in Austin, but my husband was in the military at the time, and we invested in Belton, right? A newer, legit newer neighborhood. It was building up, and guys, the equity in the house the first year, outrageous. Then when we bought the second one, right, newer build as well, there's not much going on around, guys. We see cows and deers and everything like that. So we're like, oh my God, okay, is this a good investment? But the neighborhood is beautiful. So we're like, you know what, screw it, we're just gonna pull the trigger. And now, once again, the equity just speaks for itself. So just keep that in mind, right? You have to be the subject matter expert in your neighborhoods, in what you want to invest in. You gotta be your own investor. You gotta apply apply yourself, put in the work to understand what's happening. So you could truly make a great investment, right? Now we're sitting on 2 investments, and we're trying to figure out, how to get to the third one, right? Because at the end of the day, I see homes as my small businesses, and I'm managing them or I'm selling them. But it's kind of fun because obviously I'm a realtor, and I love to see the market. I love to understand the market, and I know I'm not perfect, so I'm always trying to learn and just better myself. But nevertheless, I hope you guys found some value in my experiences, in the tips that I shared with you guys. I hope this new year brings you a lot of joy and happiness, and just new opportunities. Don't be afraid to take the leap. Don't be afraid to think big, and don't be afraid to be alone, honestly. And I believe in you. I trust you. Just know that you always got a friend with me. And if you haven't been here before, or if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe down below. Once again, my name is Sol Nieves, and I'm so happy you guys clicked on my video today. Mwah. Have a great one, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.